Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, yep, it's about that time of the week once again. Welcome back to the We Sports Podcast. By the episode 256 coming at you on this Sunday night. My name is Philly Cameron, aka PC. Join this week. We got a star-studded cast, Gianni, TK, and Jello for this week, guys. Again, another quiet week. We had the NFL Combine, this past weekend. So we're building up on the road to the NFL Draft in April. We also had the return of NBA action post All Star break. So there's a whole lot of like build up to what we're actually about to experience. Spring training is here as well. So MLB season's about to start up again. But we really want to talk about what's going on between OKC Thunder and San Antonio Spurs. Should the Thunder be concerned about the Spurs closing in on that one seed? We also have to talk about George Pickens. George Pickens, whether Joe likes it or not, may not be very happy to return as a Cowboy because he got a franchise tag. What that means for Jerry's world. Also, got to talk about the plans for QB position moving forward for the Minnesota Vikings because it looks like that honeymoon with JJ McCarthy. Yeah, it looks like they're not feeling it. So we'll be picking out the next best option for Minnesota, and of course, we always have to talk about them, even though there might be something that doesn't need to be talked about. But AJ Brown and Philadelphia Eagles, and the trade rumors circulating around that man, what that means going forward for Philly, all that and more in episode this week. Make sure you follow our social suite sports all across the board. We follow every sport. It's a reason we're called We Hate Sports. If you ain't catching up at this point, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. So, with all that being said, follow us on all our social media sports all across the board. Our first topic of tonight is going to be about the NBA. It's going to be about the OKC Thunder, who are still the first seed in the Western Conference. It seems like they're on cruise control. SGA is back from injury. Acquired Jared McCain at the trade deadline from the Sixers, and he's fit in very nicely within that offense. Him and Isaiah Joe, Kayson Wallace have been electric plugs off the bench. However, not too far behind are San Antonio Spurs and the guard depth that they have from Spawn Castle, Dylan Harper, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell. It came up on a losing effort today against the Knicks, snapping their 11-game win streak. However, they are still close to that number one seed. So, out of these two teams, which one should be favored to come out the West? TK, I'll start with you.
Um, I don't think OKC should be concerned about the Spurs whatsoever. I understand that I believe that they have like a 3-1 regular season lead over the OKC Thunder if I'm not mistaken, or 2-1, something like that. The bottom line is that Spurs hold the lead. Um, but I think we all know playoffs are a completely different ball game. OKC has been there, done that. PC Spurs got to show me, bro. I understand how generational Wimby is, and with the Stefan Castle and the other players that you named, the other young guys that they have on that squad. Um, I just think, like I said, I just think that the playoffs are a completely different ball game. OKC is a team that just won the championship last year. You also expect them to be 100% healthy or close to it by the time the playoffs roll around. A healthy Shea, a healthy J Dub, PC. I think those two guys make a huge difference. Um, and the biggest thing to me that I think that is going to be the reason why OKC, if they end up facing the Spurs, and whether it's the Western Conference, the second round or the first round, Jello, Gianni, and PC. I think the biggest thing is going to be is that key matchup with Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama. Um, right now, Victor Wembanyama clear obviously has a little bit of the lead right now, obviously, but for the most part, those first 2-3 years when they played each other, PC, it was a dogfight, bro. Like you had some people saying Chet was a little bit better than Wimby. You had some people saying Wimby was a little bit better than Chet. And the reason why is because when they played each other, it was always cinema. I think that's going to be the key matchup in the playoffs. I think Chet's going to get his shit together by the time the playoffs roll around. They're going to have a lot of bodies that they can throw at Wimby in the playoffs, and I think that's going to be the key factor. DC is OKC has so many defenders that they can throw at Wimby and make him uncomfortable. And I think that's going to be the reason why I'm still picking OKC to make it to the Western Conference Championship as well as the finals. I just don't think that there's any team in the West this year, PC, that could knock the OKC out. And like I said, when come towards the end of the season, when they start getting healthy and they start getting their foot, they start getting everything rolling with the healthy players on the squad. Like I said, I think they're just gonna run through the playoffs, bro. And unfortunately, it's not gonna be a pretty sight for the San Antonio Spurs. I do think that they're up and coming. They're one of those teams in the West that are up and coming, but I still think they're about 2-3 years away. PC. So yeah, I have absolutely no doubt in OKC. And like I said, once these guys get healthy around the time that the playoffs start, we're gonna remember who the fuck OKC is.
Um, Contrary to what you had mentioned, the biggest matchup, I think that comes out of that series between those two teams. You had mentioned Wemby versus Shed. And honestly, I feel like that at this point, I think we can all kind of agree that Wemby kind of has that one up on Chet, at least for the moment. Yes, Chet is the champion, world champion. However, Wemby has just been another level in terms of being that first option. Chet hasn't really presented himself as that this year. The matchup that I'm looking towards in terms of what's going to be the X factor if they do and when they probably do meet up in a series against each other, I'm looking at Spawn Castle versus SGA. I mean, Castle, if you looked at his stats when top guards in the league guard him this year, he's holding guys to tour dates. I mean, you can go down the list, Jalen Brunson, uh, you know, uh, um, I'm drawing a blank at the guard in Houston, Man Thompson, but guys like Kate Cunningham, and the list goes on and on and on. Every time that Spawn Castle guards these guys, including SGA, they have efficient numbers. So if Castle can match up in size, pause, to SGA, then I think that they could at the very least make it a compelling series. They could get this to six, and if they get to six, then that game seven is for anybody's, for the taking. So that's at least the way I'm looking at it. Gianni?
I think when I look at a matchup with these two teams, I think this is going to be the Western Conference Finals, unless a team like Minnesota and Denver gets it together. But when I look at this matchup, I think the Spurs just have their number. I know it's regular season, but I've seen throughout the years, the last couple of years, when the defending champions get in the playoffs and they play a team that they don't match up too well against in the series, sometimes the other team just gets that team and knocks the champion out. So I could see this happening with the Spurs, between the Spurs and the Thunder. I think there's just like the health. I understand they're gonna get healthy and everything, OKC, but I don't know what's going on with OKC. All year they've been like banged up. Like when they have, everybody full strength, there's been like times throughout the season that they look like they were a team that's gonna go roll to 70 wins. But then you look at some stretches, even when they were healthy a little bit here and there, they just look like really, really beatable. And every time the Thunder as healthy as a core, when they play the Spurs, every time, the Spurs just know how to guard them, how to slow down their pace, and all that, top to bottom. So I know the playoffs are different, but this is going to be a series I think is going to go 7 games. But I think the Spurs legitimately can beat them. Matchup wise, they match up pretty well. And Holmgren, I know Chet has like some advantages like the past years versus Victor, but Victor I think just has a complete different edge over him.
Mm,
And I
okay.
just don't want the listeners to think that I'm saying like Chet and Wimby are in the same stratosphere. They're not at all whatsoever. Wimby's way higher. PC. My only point was being that when they, for whatever reason, when they match up and they play each other, it's always back and forth. I just wanted everybody to know that I'm not saying that Chet is on Wimby's level because he's not. I'm not an idiot. But yeah, when they play each other, it's always cinema, bro. But go ahead, Jello.
Yep.
Um, see, my thing is, I don't even want to talk about that comparison because even last year, Chet does not show me much of anything, to be honest with you. He's decent. He's decent. He's an all-star. This is an all-star player. I ain't gonna give no respect to I ain't gonna give no disrespect to Chet, right? But when we talk about Wemby, this is a matchup that's like this is freaking Hakeem Olajuwon versus DeAndre Ayton. Like, um, this is I can't even fake it, man. Wemby is gonna kill. But the biggest matchup is definitely gonna be, in my opinion, what you were saying, PC, Stephon Castle versus SGA, because we talking about an MVP player. He's done this, he's seen this. Stephon is pretty new to the game, even though he has proven himself to be the pretty much the stamped set in stone number two option in San Antonio. But I like that matchup a little bit better. I feel like it's gonna be a lot more back and forth, you know. Um the thing about the experience factor, I love that, but at the same time, they played the Pacers. I'm talking about the Thunder. The Pacers without a Halliburton. So I can't really say much about, you know, the the experience, because yes, they did win the championship. They did it. No disrespect, but they did not play a healthy team to win it. Spurs stay healthy. This is a very dangerous squad. I can't sit there and say that they have nothing to worry about, because it's a 3-1 lead right now. And the Spurs have all the tools to take care of this Thunder team. Especially, we got issues with Jalen Williams. We got a lot of uncertainty as far as the health is concerned with the Thunder. So they don't stay healthy. Spurs are on a tear right now. They are very well coached. Shout out to Miss Johnson. He has been killing in that role. Um, I think OKC definitely has something to worry about with these Spurs, for sure.
So, so I gotta ask y'all a question before we move on, PC. So is nobody worried about the Spurs being a team that has not been there yet? Like they haven't faced, they haven't
I'd
been in
say
the
I'm
playoffs, or they
definitely.
haven't faced that type of
It's
atmosphere.
not that, it's not that I'm worried about it, because the thing about it is, this is the Spurs that we're talking about. The culture. They as an organization, they know what it takes to win.
All right, so let me paint this picture for y'all. So
Okay.
the Spurs get the number one seed, right? They cruise through the first round. Let's say they end up facing OKC in the second round. Now let's say
That wouldn't happen.
They
they,
can't play
No.
each other
okay, so
except
Yeah.
for the
so so
conference
let's say
finals.
okay, so
They
let's say they
face like
make it to the
Minnesota.
first two rounds.
Mm-hmm.
They make it to the first two rounds, right? They make it to the Western Conference Finals and they play OKC. Now OKC, let's say that OKC is healthy, right?
Yeah.
So if a team like OKC, well, again, a team being in the playoffs is so important to me. Like I don't know if it's just me, but I trust teams that have been there more than I trust younger teams that are on the come up. So let's say
Okay.
they.
Well, let's
That's
So
go with
wait,
that
wait. So
understandable.
let's
scenario.
say so
Okay.
let's say they get to the Western Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
They end up splitting the first two games in San Antonio 1-1. They go back to OKC. At that point, with OKC having home court advantage after that point, who do you trust more at that point? If it goes 1-1 back to OKC, do y'all
OKC.
still have the same confidence in the Spurs?
I mean,
OKC.
the thing is, it can go 2-2, but then we go back to the Spurs. We go back to what you call it. It can go game seven, and the Spurs still have. My thing is, look at last season. OKC did not have that experience last season. And what they do, they won the chip, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
They were a playing team the year before. So let's not
Mm-hmm.
act
Mm-hmm.
like they were already an accomplished 2 seed
Well,
team. They were a playing team, and then they came back and won the championship.
well,
Like,
Joe.
it's,
Actually, they were like I think they were like they were actually the year before. They won the championship. They were the number one seed. They lost in the second round to Dallas. So they
okay,
beat New
yeah, that's right.
Orleans.
It's the year before. It was
Yeah,
the year before that.
I
Okay, you're
remember
right.
they
You're right.
beat
You're
New
right.
Orleans, and then against Dallas, their inexperience show up a little bit.
That's
Like
true.
down
That's
the
true.
stretch of these games, I remember like they could have easily beaten Dallas 4-1 in
And
that
even
series.
and even last year, to Jello's point, like remember that series against Denver?
Yeah,
That
it was
that
almost the same.
that yeah, it was all. I mean, I'm not saying that OKC is like the best freaking team we've ever seen come out of the West. I'm just saying that specifically because the Spurs have not been here yet. They don't have that experience yet since in the Wemby era. They don't have playoff experience. I just
I
think
think
that
there are times when true talent can make up for the inexperience. And we've never seen a player like Wemby before.
Never.
And he is coming in killing like this, and he is
I
putting an impact on the Spurs' first full season being healthy since he was being a rookie, and they are a 2 seed from to be a 1 seed. You see the impact. You can see
For
the
sure.
talent make up for the experience. And besides, he had experience overseas. Like, come on, this was a champion already. But come on now. Um, in this instance, I would 100% like to put the talent over the experience just because I'm seeing the results. Coach come in, be, already a 2 seed and dominant. This isn't no like they're just getting by teams. They are dominating these teams. Like today was like the first true week game I've seen out of the Spurs in a very, very long time. So, I definitely put, just the talent of the team all around. I like that over the experience. Just in this case, yeah.
I am a firm believer that there is a script in the NBA. Yeah, I mean, the script being in that OKC finally overcomes their kryptonite, that is Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, in the playoffs, it just seems like the writing is on the wall in that sense. I do think that experience does play a factor to your point, TK. Even if OKC making it, all the way and winning the finals last year was like their first real like experience in that playoffs. We still gotta remember this is Mitch Johnson's first year coaching. This is Wemby's gonna be Wemby's first full year in the playoffs as well. I feel like the expectations that a lot of people have for that first year experience is a bit unfair. Even for someone with the caliber of Victor Wembanyama, uh, I do think that talent trumps all at the end of the day. Yes, however, playoffs, regular season, it's a different breed, and San Antonio, while there might be a couple of guys that might be right on that roster, like a Harrison Barnes, have been there, kind of done that. Um, there's still gonna be a lot of like growing up to do, and that's okay. Like I think them making in the Western Conference Finals should be their goal. If they win it, even better. But I feel like if you're San Antonio, you can't ask for much more in the first full year of the Mitch Johnson era.
And like Gianni said, and then we can move on, PC. I'm glad that Gianni and Jello brought up the OKC because, like you said, the year before they won the championship last year, they finished the number one seed, got to the second round and lost. That's the kind of vibes that the Spurs are giving me. You know what I'm saying? Like we all had agreed when OKC was number one. We didn't think they would win the championship that year, but we did say they were on their way. And I feel like that's where the Spurs are. So although I don't think it'll be this year, it wouldn't shock me at all if San Antonio win it next year. I just don't
Okay, so
think
here's my
they'll win
question.
it this year.
Do you think that OKC's talent level that first year is on the same level as the Spurs talent level this year?
Hell no.
Okay. That's my question. That's all I wanted to know.
All right. With that being said, let's move on to the next topic. Jumping from the NFL, or excuse me, the NBA to the NFL. Let's talk about George Pickens, who had gotten franchise tagged by Jerry Jones and Dallas Cowboys. He will end up coming back at least one more year to play in Dallas. Pickens, who was arguably one of, if not the best, wide receivers in the NFL the second half of the year. Um, is still looking for that long term contract. And we all know how Jerry operates. We all know that this might not be something that ends incredibly well, i.e., Micah Parsons. But Pickens, he's looking for a long term extension, roughly around 124 mil, 4 years. And I mean, where have I seen this movie before? I feel like before I say what I gotta say, or Gianni gotta say what I gotta say, because I mean, I'm sure we have our thoughts, Jello. Why don't you present the factor? Saying that reports saying that he won't touch the football field until he reaches this new deal. Is this something? Is it nothing? Or is this surely everything with a player like George Pickens?
PC, TK, Gianni. This is a new era in Cowboys football. I have never seen an offseason like this. I'm gonna be honest. Um, George Pickens is definitely a concern for sure. This is a big, big, big opportunity that we can flop for sure. But I'm liking this energy. I'm talking about. I feel like the franchise tag was actually one of the smartest moves we could have did this offseason. Put it to the side for right now because right after we did that, we secured our running back, Javonte Williams. He had a stellar season, top 10. We got him for 24 million, 8 million a season. I was very, very happy with that contract. Um, After that, we're focusing on defense. I'm hearing reports that Nakobe Dean, hey PC, Nakobe Dean, yeah, I love that player. I love that man.
Y'all
Georgia's
see,
on.
y'all see how they steal from champions. All right, continue.
He is in reports on the way to the Cowboys, barring any other um unforeseen circumstances. We are all in on the Kobe Dean. We have plenty of other defensive targets that we are looking at. So when it comes to George Pickens, I honestly and truly like the franchise tag move. I firmly believe that Jerry may have learned his lesson after this Michael Parsons situation, and he ultimately is going to get a deal done with him. I don't want to talk about the Michael Parsons situation again because that broke my heart. That actually broke my heart as a Cowboys fan. But that was a learning lesson. It's looking like he is, changing the game up. We got this combine coming up. I'm very excited for. Oh my gosh, can I talk about the combine for a quick second? Because oh my gosh, Sonny Styles, you actually may have set my draft up because your stock has went up into the top 5, and one of my players in the big board, he decided not to attend the combine. My man Caleb Downs, which means that his stock has dropped. Which means we have the chance to get not only the best safety in the draft, in a Caleb Downs, and we can pick up another corner. We can get a Jermard McCoy. We could get a Mansour Delane if he falls. We can get there's so many possibilities there. I am so excited. Um, you know, I'm really liking this. I'm really liking what we're doing here. So George Pickens, sit back, relax. Your time is coming. Just give us a little bit of chance. We gonna get the structure right, and then we trust the process.
It's, I oh boy. All right,
I'm
Gian. Yeah,
not,
go ahead, G.
dude. The Cowboys are doing all this just to win 9 games next season and miss the playoffs with 9 wins. They're doing all this to do for 9 wins. I think George Pickens, man, if you guys don't screw that up, I think he's going to leave. To me, George Pickens, you know what team he needs to be on? Honestly, I think he needs to be on the Baltimore Ravens. I think from all the teams, I think he should leave Dallas and go to Baltimore because I think that would be pretty cinema, honestly, for AFC at this point. I just don't know if they get a deal done. I think he stays one more year in Dallas. This is probably going to go into next off season where Jerry's going to probably be like, I don't know what to do and stuff like that. And honestly, I like the defensive coordinator you got from us. Really, Christian Parker. I think he's going to do pretty well. But outside of that, really, Joe, you just setting up, saying all the energy is different and everything like that. You're just setting up yourself for failure, honestly, because this Dallas team is going to win 9 games, miss the playoffs, and you're going to be next all season saying, "Oh, maybe we need to change the energy a little bit more."
The energy, you said. TK.
Doesn't it feel like we do this with Cowboys every off season, bro? The player is due for his money, doesn't get paid. Jerry drags it out until like the week of the beginning of the season, and then the player eventually gets paid. We've seen it with Dak twice. We saw it with CD Lamb just a couple of years ago. Like, we know that Jerry Jones is not going to trade George Pickens, and he's not going to let him go, guys.
Thank
And
you.
George Pickens has already
Thank you, Jerry.
stated George Pickens has already stated he's not stepping on the football field until he gets a contract, and I believe him. Kid's 27 years old. It's his first contract. He wants his money. Cowboys are going to pay him. Here's the problem, PC. Here's the problem, PC. The problem with the Cowboys is that Jerry does not give a fuck. You know why, PC? Because he's going to do whatever it takes to keep the Cowboys in the media, in the news, being talked about. Like, bro, and unfortunately, it comes at the expense of George Pickens, bro. George, just don't, like you said, just don't touch the football field until you get your deal. You'll get your deal. It'll be about 3 days before the beginning of the season, bro. We've seen this story too many times. I don't know if y'all saw the little, I guess you can call it an interview that Jerry had on his tour bus when he invited a bunch of people and had like a 30-minute just little press conference. I did watch a little bit of the PC, unfortunately. Me not being an Eagles fan, I don't hate the Cowboys as much as you guys do. So I wanted to see what Jerry was going to say. And PC, all Jerry did was a bunch of word salad. And it's the same shit that he says every year. We're all in. We're going to go all in on the defense. We're going to get the players in the draft. We're going to pay George Pickens. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Dak Prescott's going to be an MVP. He just said all types of shit, bro. Although I don't agree with Gianni, I do think the Cowboys will make the playoffs next year. I don't know if they win the division or what the situation is. I do think they'll be in the playoffs next year, Gianni. But the Cowboys, they have to hit PC. They have 2 first-round draft picks this year. You have to hit on both of those picks, and both of those picks better be defensive players. Because the biggest issue with the Cowboys was that they were one of the worst defenses I have ever seen in my life, brother. I have never. It's up there, Gianni. It's up there, bro. One of the worst defenses I ever seen from the Cowboys last year. So to answer the question, PC, this is really nothing because, like I said, Pickens will eventually get paid, but this is just Jerry Jones being Jerry Jones, doing whatever he can to keep the Cowboys relevant and in the news and keep us talking about them in ESPN, and Fox Sports, and CBS Sports, and NBC Sports, and just keep all these stations, and these news stations just to keep talking about the Cowboys, PC. I mean, the Cowboys are not going to win the Super Bowl, probably not ever in Jello's lifetime. I'm sorry, brother. Jerry has to die, brother. That is the only way you will possibly see real success. Jerry has to die. I do
Jesus Christ,
I'm 24 years old.
I'm sorry,
You're
bro.
acting like I'm going to die before Jerry.
That is crazy, man.
I'm sorry, but I will say this. I do believe Jerry Jones when he said that he is going to invest extremely hard in the defense this year, because they don't have a choice, PC. If they want to see or seem like they're finally seeing the type of success that they want to see, they're definitely gonna have to bolster up that defense, bro. So like I said, I do expect Jerry. Jerry said that he was going to be very, very invested in the defense and free agency. I do expect that to happen. I also think it's kind of weird how you paid the running back before your all-pro wide receiver. I love Pookie Williams, bro. He definitely deserved his money, and I'm glad y'all paid him. But bro,
it's because it was cheap. Because it was a cheaper deal. That's the only reason why. I mean, less cap room, so you gotta get that out.
You guys are definitely gonna have to do something with some of them contracts, like.
Did you see that we restructured 66 million?
Okay. So maybe part of that 66 million goes to Pickens sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be about 20 million for the draft. For the players in the draft, so you can go ahead and knock 20 million off that. So it's really 46 million or whatever, 47 million, whatever it was. But yeah, bro, y'all got to hit on every draft pick, or at least 60 to 70%, bro. And they better every single player y'all draft, Jello, they got to be defense, bro. You don't need no more offensive players, bro. You need to draft straight defense, dude. You don't have a choice.
I want to jump in and say
get another running back, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, that's pretty deep. You can probably get one of like the 4th, 5th round. Yeah.
You want to know something, TK and Jello and PC? This is the thing about the Cowboys. When they had those years, 2021, 2022, and 2023, when they were a top 5 defense, that was their opportunity to, take advantage of their window. All they had was, I think they went in the playoffs 1-3. And I think 2 of those 3 playoff games, I think they just surrendered 23 or less points. And they couldn't get it done. That's their window, because you see the issues that they've been having every year. if you don't take advantage of your window and get at least one championship out of when you have those top five defense those 3 years, you're gonna be a mess every year. And it's funny because the Cowboys are really a mess every year. It feels like in a certain way. And when I look back to that, because that's when they should have won something. Really, that was their opportunity.
Was one of those years when they played the Packers and had Jordan Love looking like prime Tom Brady? Was that one of those years where they had a top five defense?
Yeah,
Oh God, my
but
God,
but
bro.
but Dak threw two pick sixes. I remember in
Yeah, I
that
remember
game
that
too.
too.
Yeah, that was
That was
crazy.
crazy.
Honestly,
There's just some things that's quite literally you come to expect of teams. And I love that you have such a optimistic view of your Dallas Cowboys, Jello. Here's the issue. Number one, Jerry Jones is still your owner. Jerry Jones is still your general manager. Jerry Jones is still your president of the Dallas Cowboys. And until all three of those things change, we're going to be caught in this constant circle, this purgatory of not even mediocrity, but of overrated nothingness coming from the Dallas Cowboys. I think we can all agree that Dallas offense last year was a top five offense statistically and virtually speaking. That was actually a really good offense that had two number one options at wide receiver. And shout out to Javante Williams. He got paid. He got what he earned because he
Top
had a good
10,
season.
top 10 running back last year, by the way. But continue.
And then we look at the defense where we heard the same thoughts and criticisms at trade deadline. So what did Jerry do? Okay, he went out. He traded for Logan Wilson and he traded for Quincy Williams. I was like,
Quinn.
okay, maybe we could do something with this. But guess what? It's Dallas. We always find a way to fuck it up somehow, whether it be through the defense, whether it be through Dak doing something he shouldn't be doing, or the offense doing something they shouldn't be doing, is always something with Dallas. Like I always expect something to collapse.
Okay, let's hold on. Let's take a
No,
let's
no,
take
no,
a
no.
chill
I'll
pill
let you.
for a
I'll let
second.
you speak. I'll let you speak. I'll let you speak. I'm saying, I'm saying that even in Jerry's world, in this mythical media madness that he has going on for himself, where Dallas is always the talk of the town, they're not even America's team anymore. I mean, I hear more people talking about AJ Brown being traded away from Philadelphia than I do George Pickens not ever stepping foot in a Dallas Cowboys uniform. And AJ hasn't even said that he wants to be traded. AJ hasn't even said that he wants an extension. George does. And that's the issue right now with the Dallas Cowboys. There's no end game. It's just drama. Oh, am I gonna pay him? Am I gonna not pay him? That's the game we've been playing the last 2 years now with CD Lamb, Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, and now George Pickens. He's gonna keep playing with that man's money until it's Barry time. He's edging the thin line between that and him wanting to actually walk away. That's where we're at. That's where we're at with this saga. Is he? Is he not? And George Pickens, I'm being quite honest, I think he will ultimately. In my heart of hearts, I actually do think he will ultimately get his long term contract. But this is where we're at. This is literally where we're at. And I'm surprised that you had this such optimistic view of it, Jello. Because I mean, like, truthfully, you don't get tired. I know you get tired. I get tired for y'all. I know you get tired. So I mean, it's just funny. It's just funny to me. I mean, because like Gianni said, like TK said, I mean, we see this every single year. I gotta deal with it every single year. You know, if it's not you, it's someone else in the division. And quite frankly, I'm just tired for y'all at this point. But it's okay. It's okay. All right, Jerry's got y'all. All right, we're going all in this year because this year is our year, Dallas Cowboy fans. This year is truly the year. Don't you worry. Wink, wink. All right. Well, with that being said, let's take actually quick wire check in. All
Move
right, to
on.
all your listeners, man. Um, yeah, we're already halfway through the episode. Crazy timing. Make sure y'all follow our socials. We hate sports all across the board. And join us on this journey. Like I said, we're on the road to the NFL draft. Also, do want to give a shout out to Elimination Chamber that happened this past Saturday night as well. I mean, on the road to WrestleMania as well. That's gonna be happening in April too. Randy Orton. Shout out to Randy Orton, bro, and winning the men's elimination chamber match, something I actually did not expect to see. But I see the vision that we're going with potentially, and I like what I'm seeing. All right, so I don't know, that might just be me. Um, let's head to the penultimate topic of the night. We gotta talk about JJ McCarthy. Now, JJ McCarthy, he missed his first official year in the NFL due to injury, and he came back. His first official season in the NFL as a starter for the Minnesota Vikings, and it was okay. It wasn't anything mind-boggling. He had flashes of greatness, and he had flashes of not so greatness. And I think that Minnesota realizes, oh wait, this guy may not be the guy that we actually want. So they might be planning to move on from McCarthy after 2 seasons, and they're on the market for a new quarterback in 2027. Now there have been rumors that Derek Carr is interested about unretiring and potentially coming out and playing for a new team that is in New Orleans. You have Kyler Murray, who, according to reports, might be released. If they cannot find a trade for Kyler by Arizona. Um, Along with guys like Geno Smith, and we talked about in the past. Kevin O'Connell being this typical QB genius. So I'm gonna actually stay with you on this one, Jello. Which quarterback would be the best option for Minnesota next season?
I'm gonna be totally honest. If Kyler Murray isn't in a Vikings uniform, you might as well just stick with JJ at this point. Um, the only viable options that I see for the Vikings right now that is not JJ is Kyler Murray and a Malik Willis. Those are the only two real big free agent names that I can see will make this team have a difference. I love their all around structure. Obviously, you have a JJ Justin Jefferson. You have Jordan Edison coming back. You have structure in the run game. Even though Aaron Jones he is going to be his time is done in Minnesota. Um, they still have a really good team. They have a good coaching staff. I really love Kevin O'Connell, how he structures that offense. Um, JJ McCarthy is holding them back. But what I will say in that nature is I still see flashes of potential. I do see he that terrible when it comes to the D ball. He's actually a really good D ball quarterback. Um, there are problems that he has with pressure. He is not well under pressure at all. But those are things that can be fixed. It's just the fact that that team is not that team is not structured to be a developing team. They need a win now quarterback. Um, a person like Kyler Murray, a person like Malik Willis, who has seen winning times in Green Bay, and he's shown that he can win under pressure. Those are some really good options, but if you can't get any of those two, I don't want a Derek Carr in Minnesota. What are we doing? Geno Smith, what are we doing? Um, let's not even pretend like there's too many options out there besides JJ McCarthy. Tyler, JJ, stay where you are.
My hot take of Kyler to Minnesota all those months back is not looking too hot right now because it might look like it's reality for a second. But hey, you never know. Um, Gianni?
I like the Kyler to Minnesota. I think that is intriguing. But you know what should have happened, honestly, last off season? They should have sit JJ, for one year, get healthy, get that knee because I seen him like banged up too all season. that too can affect, the play. Even though his play was not good, that was something that I felt that affected him, honestly. But what should have happened last offseason? I think Kyler to Minnesota is gonna happen. I think that's the best option. I don't know about Malik Willis. I think that could be like the option number two, like what Gel said. But what should have happened last all season was Aaron Rodgers to Minnesota. I think would have helped them honestly because they won 9 games with three different quarterbacks. All three quarterbacks, well, two of the three quarterbacks they had were injured basically most of the season, and the other was JJ. Surviving out there. That O line too was a little shaky here and there. But I felt like last all season they should have gotten Rodgers because they won 9 games with three different quarterbacks, and they had like a top five defense last season. So if they would have gotten Rodgers, they could have been a playoff team, maybe get a second round or a championship game. But like when I look at Minnesota as a team right now, I think Kyler this all season going to Minnesota, I think that's going to get them past 9 wins. I feel they could be right there for the division with Detroit, Chicago, and Green Bay because that division to me is like a war zone basically. So I think Kyler to Minnesota just moves me honestly, and that was your hot take, like you said, PC. I remember a couple months ago. I think is reality at this point.
TK?
Would Kirk Cousins be a bad option? I mean,
I was
that's not my
I was
answer.
gonna
I'm
bring
just
him
I'm
up,
just
but
surprised.
My bad.
I mean he was pretty successful with
he is last
KOC
resort.
and
He is last resort, TK. That
Are
man
we serious?
30
I mean I
years
wasn't
plus.
that's
He's
After an
30
Achilles
years
tear,
plus after
and we
the
saw
you,
what that
Achilles.
Achilles tear
yeah,
did.
you're right. Yeah,
Let's
you're
be
absolutely right.
serious
Your
now.
Achilles tear, yeah,
That's
you're
the
right.
last resort option, if anything.
All right, you're right. All right. So Kyler Murray's a good choice. Like I said, Kirk Cousins was in the back of my head, was in the back of my mind for some reason. Uh, Malik Willis, that does not move me at all. I'm sorry. I don't think that he's a starting quarterback in the NFL, bro. You got to show me. But if anybody could make him a starting quarterback in the NFL, it's KOC. But
TK, please,
here's
please,
my answer, bro.
please, please do not say what I think you're gonna say.
I'm going.
I pray
Look,
to the
man. You know what
Lord
I'm going to say.
that
I'm
you
going
do
to say
not
it.
say his
I'm going to
name.
say it. Anthony Richardson, bro.
All
I'm going
right.
with Anthony. Look. KOC is a quarterback guru. PC, sit up when I'm talking to you, bro. Stop being disrespectful, though. You did this last week, bro. Enough is enough, brother. Enough is enough. But just hear me out first, all right?
Do
I
we
think we'd
have
all
to?
agree. I think we'd all agree
No,
that KOC is a quarterback guru, like you
Sure.
guys just said. Wait,
brother.
let me
Brother,
push.
please.
Can I
You've
push my
got to
narrative
let
first?
him go.
Can
You
I
have
push
to
my
let him
narrative first?
go.
Can
This
I
is
just
coming from somebody that literally had Carson Wentz in top three combos for years. Take it from me. If you don't take it from anybody else on this call, take it from me. It's time to let him go, man. It's
just hear
time to
me
let
out?
him
Hear
go.
me out, PC. Hear me out. Hear me out. All right. My answer is Anthony Richardson. All right. I didn't like his situation in Indy. All right. And before he got hurt, granted, it was a 3, 4, 5 game stretch. Regardless, it was a very short stint. He looked pretty good before he started dealing with all those injuries. Here's my thing, Jello. I think if you put Anthony Richardson with KOC, who we'd all agree is a quarterback guru, the worst thing that can happen, brother, is you get him on a rookie deal for what, probably a fifth or sixth round draft pick. I mean, it's not going to be anything high because he hasn't shown you anything that shows that he's worth a first, second, third, or fourth round draft pick. So you get him for cheap, first of all. You get him on a rookie deal, which is another plus because you can see what this kid is made of. The worst thing that can happen, PC, is if he stinks this year, you just let him go next year and you just move on in the 2027 class, or you go out and you go and trade for another quarterback. I don't think Anthony Richardson is as bad as everybody tries to make it seem he is. I do think that he had a lot of maturity issues, but I do think that him getting benched, remember when he checked himself out of the game because he was tired, like I think he learned his lesson from that after getting bitched for those 1 or 2 games. You go to a situation like KOC, which I think we'd all agree is so much of a better situation than the Indianapolis Colts. First of all, you're throwing a JJ Addison and you're throwing a JJ Jefferson. First of all, so that's a plus. You got Hawkinson as a tight end, who I think at 2 years removed from the injury, from the Achilles injuries that he suffered from 2 years ago, I think that he's going to be back 100%. Pretty good offensive line, PC. Pretty good coaching staff. Pretty good defense. I just think that if you plug Anthony Richardson into that situation and he's being groomed and what's the word I'm looking for? Developed by KOC, I honestly think that could be the situation that turns his career around, bro. Do y'all realize this dude is only 23 years old, bro?
Okay,
His career is
okay,
not over.
Well, we saw Sam
It
Darnold get
hasn't
turned
even
around.
started. Thank you. We saw Sam Darnold get turned around.
TK.
You know who
Yeah.
else we saw get turned
I've heard
around?
enough
Wait
of
a second. Do we also see who got turned around? Daniel Jones,
Yeah.
by the way, was coached by the exact same
They don't even want to
coach,
pay
Yeah.
Daniel Jones right now, bro.
the exact same coach that Anthony Richardson stunk with.
Shane
this is a
Steichen is not
quarterback
Kevin
follow up,
O'Connell. He's
guru.
not
and
Kevin
to
O'Connell,
follow up,
brother.
What?
Look what
no,
Kevin
no, no, no,
O'Connell
no,
did for
no,
Darnold.
no, no, no.
Kirk
Did we not
Cousins.
see? Did we
We're
not
we're
see?
not gonna disrespect Shane Steichen like that.
Are
All
we?
right, Shane
Did we not
Steichen,
see
Shane
what
Steichen
He's
Shane
is
not on
not
Steichen
able
did
to
KOC's
with
win.
level,
Jalen
bro.
Hurts?
He's not on
We're not
KOC's
Let's
gonna.
level. I'm
not.
sorry.
Shane Steichen
What?
has Shane Steichen has to be able to win with guys like Gardner Minshew as his QB, with Daniel Jones out as his QB. All right, where
With
Anthony
Jalen
Richardson.
Hurts as his QB?
I mean,
No offense,
Jalen.
no offense, Eagles fans, but he
I was
he
about to
he
say, watch your mouth,
unlocked.
bitch.
He
All right, but that's
unlocked.
what I was saying. All right,
He
So
he went to
unlocked
the Super Bowl
Jalen
Kirk
when
Hurts.
Cousins,
Steichen
Sam
was his
Shane
Darnold.
OC.
Steichen unlocked
So
Jalen Hurts
And
and
Kirk
again,
Gardner
Cousins,
this is
Sam
no, and
Darnold.
to make it to let's be clear, this is no slight to someone like KOC, who you're right, he is a QB guru. All
for
right,
sure.
but the problem with someone like Anthony Richardson is we also, you said yourself, there's maturity issues, not just maturity issues, there's injury issues as well. This man has been injury prone. That's another reason he has not been able to take that next step and develop as a QB.
You know
What
what else?
he
He's not
has,
a quarterback. He
it,
has 743 pass attempts in college and NFL, the
yeah,
least in history.
that's
And
that's
the
bad.
first,
and
I'm
and,
sorry,
and
I'm
his
sorry, y'all.
QBR all time in NFL history is up there.
This
It's one
man
of the
is not
worst.
a quarterback. TK, I am so sorry. It was the dumbest draft pick I've ever seen out of a quarterback in my life.
It was
He was a
PR.
dumber pick than Jamarcus Russell because Jamarcus Russell
So
actually
y'all
won
really gonna give
a
up on the kid at
championship in
23 years old,
college.
bro? So he can't turn his career around
He
at
is
23 years old,
Terrell
bro?
Pryor, but in Florida form, bro.
Okay, all right.
I'll say this. I think Anthony Richardson's career, I think he needs to be like a backup quarterback in San Francisco and Minnesota. He needs to find a way to get as a backup quarterback and learn a little bit for a couple years.
And you need to
And I
find a
Make
think
way to
him, make
play
after
him the
for
that,
backup.
that
better.
will
Make
help.
him the backup in San Francisco. In San Francisco, make him the backup in Los Angeles. You can make him the backup quite literally anywhere in the league where he can actually learn behind a veteran quarterback and develop. All right, the people that I think it's all been proven very easily. The people that want him to actually get the experience playing on the field have been wrong thus far about Anthony Richardson, because all stuff that he's doing on the field are stuff that a quarterback should not be doing on an NFL field. The man needs to actually learn behind a veteran quarterback, someone like Aaron Rodgers, someone like a Jalen Hurts, someone like a Dak Prescott, someone like a Matthew Stafford or
Don't wish that on me.
Brock Purdy.
Please
Like
don't wish that on me.
there's just so many better options for Anthony Richardson that could benefit him for the long term. All right, because I think we all want Anthony Richardson to succeed and have a
No, you don't.
substantial career.
No, you don't.
I do.
I'm not
I
even
want him
gonna
to
lie
have a
to you. I do
substantial
not.
career in the NFL.
I think in San
Becoming the
Francisco,
starter
Minnesota.
of the Vikings, him becoming the starter of the Vikings does not give him any substantiation to be a long term player in the NFL. It
So
only hurts him.
let me ask y'all a question. So if let's just say he were to go to Minnesota, right? Would y'all be surprised if he somehow found 11 wins with the 10 or 11 wins with the Vikings in
I
a
would
playoff
be
berth?
if he was to do that. If he was to win 11 games in a Vikings uniform as the starting quarterback, I will send you whatever. I will send you $500 on the spot. I
This
will give you
disrespectful, bro.
my rent money. I promise I
This
will give you my
is
rent
so
money.
disrespectful,
I
I'm gonna
dog.
do
say he
not
needs to go to San
believe
Francisco and
in
learn a
Anthony
year or
Let me
two.
let
Richardson
me let me
as
ask
a
you this, TK. Let me
starting
ask you
quarterback
this.
in the league
What
right now.
how many wins did the Vikings have last year or this past year?
Nine,
Like
Nine.
nine
8 or
wins,
Yeah,
9.
9 wins.
9 wins.
Do you really think that Anthony Richardson is capable of doing something slightly better or better than JJ McCarthy? You really think that?
I do, bro. I do. I do. He
And
brings athleticism, and I mean his athleticism is really what separates him from
He
JJ
barely
McCarthy.
brings that.
Okay, I
He
hate you, dude.
barely brings that.
I hate you, dude.
and again, this is goes back to his injury history. This goes back to his maturity situation.
We're
Like
talking about a dude that checked out of the game, by the way.
I know. I
that's
said
the
that.
issue.
I said that.
I know what you said. I'm just reiterating because this is crazy that you. This is a man that is halfway there to eating his way out of the league.
He is
Did
23,
he
man.
not
He's
get?
not
Did he
going
not
anywhere.
gain? Did he
He's
not gain 30 pounds in one off season and try to play starting quarterback?
he did. I think he got up to like what 250.
Hey, Ant.
265. He
Hey,
got up
Ant.
to 265.
Anthony Richardson. Folks ain't gonna keep playing with you. You have to understand.
I believe in you,
Folks,
AR. I
they
believe in
gonna
you,
keep
bro.
playing with
And
you.
I will say this, Jello, PC, and Gianni. I will say
You
this:
don't want no cookies, bruh.
if KOC can't change AR,
They
then
don't
I
want no
agree.
cookies.
His career is probably dead, bro. If you can't succeed with KOC, bro, I that's why I think JJ McCarthy is done.
But I'm gonna say this: I
I
think
don't
Anthony
think Kevin
Richardson gotta go
O'Connell
to
is
San
the end all
Francisco
be
or
all.
Los Angeles with
I
Sean
don't think
McVay.
Kevin O'Connell is the end all be all as far as quarterback
Oh,
saviors
wait,
because we still have a Kyle Shanahan who turned guys like Mac Jones and Sam Darnold around and made
Gianni
them great.
Gianni kind of moved me. What if
The
the
Rams.
Rams trade for him? You play Matthew Stafford for one more year. He learns under Stafford. Would that
That's
be
not
good?
even
Yes,
that's
that
not
that
even
would
the
be that would be more better than him
that would
going to
be yeah, that would
Minnesota
be a
right
better
now and becoming
situation
the
for
starter.
sure.
And he has
That'd be
Puka and
so
maybe
much more better.
Devontae stays one more year after, and who knows? That's pretty
Sean
intriguing.
Sean McVay, make the call, bro. You got your future quarterback right there,
That
just
would
The
be a
waiting.
much
issue,
better
but here's
situation
the
than the
issue,
Vikings right
TK.
now.
Here's the
My
issue,
thing
TK.
is I
Go
do
ahead.
not oh, okay, go ahead, go ahead.
No, go
My
ahead,
thing
though.
is I don't think really can utilize that type of quarterback. I don't think that that's his style. I really and truly don't think that that's his style. Anthony Richardson is not a pass first quarterback. He is more of a run first. And with the offense that they have structured, you need a pass happy quarterback. Yes, he's fine with dual threat quarterbacks. I'm not saying that, but the type of quarterback Anthony Richardson is, he is more of a runner than a passer. Like that. That's just what it is in the nutshell.
I
Like
mean, that's
it
why
doesn't.
that's why I
Yeah,
feel like someplace like LA would be a lot better for him than San Francisco. I mean, we saw what happened to Trey Lance, and that didn't
true.
Oh
work out.
gosh.
So I mean, even going to a place like LA where he could develop for like a good like 2-3 years, depending on how much longer Matthew Stafford wants to keep on playing anyway. I think that's substantial amount of time. I mean, they got a great coaching staff out there in LA. I mean, if you see the names up and down the list, that he wouldn't be novice. Let's say that. An emergency situation, he had to come onto the field. He wouldn't be novice. I mean, I saw Baker Mayfield with less than a week under his grass with LA walk them down the field for a game winning drive. So I do think that Anthony Richardson can find success elsewhere. All right, potentially right now as a backup. This man is not an NFL starter right now, and I think that's the point that I'm trying to drive down to UTK. This man cannot help a playoff team or certainly a team that's looking to make the playoffs and looking to compete for a Super Bowl like the Vikings in this current moment. He has too much experience. He is underdeveloped. There's still a lot of growing up to do. Like you said, he's only 23 years old. There's just so much more time that he can that he can utilize that would be better to him than just going out there and potentially shitting the bed with Minnesota, where he potentially is going to have another shot. I'd rather him take his chances being a backup, because being a backup, like, you're going to be underrated for at least the next couple of years, and when you finally get that shot, that you can prove those people wrong. All right, just because God don't present the situation in front of you at the moment does not mean it isn't there. And for someone like Anthony Richardson, his opportunity can still come in the future. But if he were to get traded to Minnesota, the opportunity ain't gonna be there. If he goes to Minnesota in another 2 3 years, he's gonna be on the Birmingham Stallions, man. So I truly don't see it. You know, as far as Minnesota goes, Kyler Murray. I mean, I'm sticking with my guns. I called it months back ago. To, finish up this question, but yeah, and I can't see the vision yet, brother. I can't. Um, that was a good topic. Let's head to the last topic of the night. Let's talk about another NFC team in the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles, who have had a lot of change this offseason in their coaching staff. But the biggest storyline to come out of the city of brotherly love is surrounding star wide receiver AJ Brown, who, mind you, at this point, has not said anything about wanting to be traded, has not had a desire to say he wants to be traded. And even though there have been multiple reports saying that the Eagles aren't looking to trade AJ, and Howie Roseman said himself that he doesn't want to be traded, and Nick Sirianni has now come up and said he doesn't want to be traded. There's still rumors circulating around. What I saw, y'all? The rumors circulating around the New England Patriots potentially trading for AJ Brown. I saw a report that said the Patriots would love to have Stephon Diggs and AJ Brown on their roster. Wow. And I want Coco Jones and Jamie Lawson oiled up under my Christmas tree next Christmas. But there's just some things that won't happen now, are there?
We
So
just
so 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 does AJ Brown want to stay in Philadelphia? Again, and then we can put this convo to rest finally. Until AJ Brown outright says, "No, I do not want to be in Philadelphia. Please trade me away, Howie Roseman." I mean, how much longer do y'all want to keep dragging this out? I mean, you can look at the subliminal messages and think to yourself, "Oh, he hates Jalen. Oh, he hates the team. Oh, he hates Howie Roseman." AJ Brown has never said any of these things. AJ Brown, AJ Brown could come out tomorrow and say, "I love playing in Philadelphia," and the media is going to twist it into being like, "Yeah, this man really hates Philadelphia. He really hates Howie Roseman and Jalen Hurts." Whatever he says at this point, y'all are going to twist the story and try to fit the narrative that y'all really want to fit. All right, and to make the comparison to what's going on in Dallas right now with George Pickens. I mean, George Pickens, we know the type of character and wide receiver that he is. He's looking for money right now. AJ Brown don't even need that money right now. All right, AJ good. And I'm thinking another 2 years. All right, maybe not this off season, but maybe the next off season. That's when we will actually start looking for trade offers for AJ Brown, because he's going to be at the end of his contract. But right now, right now, as I'm telling people time and time again, we are not trading that man. It's not gonna happen. Y'all need to get that through your head. It's just
P-
not gonna happen.
PC, I will like to say this. I think AJ stays one more year, and he's gonna get possibly traded next all season.
Yes,
I
I believe
think
that.
I think next all season. I think doesn't matter how next season ends. Honestly, we could win the Super Bowl next season. I think he's gonna be traded next all season. I think if you ask me like what teams I think that are gonna probably New England could get into it, because if they fail after losing the Super Bowl, they miss the playoffs like 7-10 or something like that next season. I could see them being a team that jumps in. Buffalo too could be a team that jumps in. I hate to say this, but Kansas City probably will be a team next all season. Once Mahomes is fully healthy, another team that will get try to get AJ. But this is a thing I think is going to go into next holiday season, I just don't want it to be a distraction for the team next season because I want to be focused on winning next season. And the thing is, I don't want this to become more of a distraction. This media thing is so annoying. People saying this, then switching. Mike Garafolo and Peter Schrager, they were saying 2 days ago, AJ is going to get traded this all season 100%. It is a done deal. This marriage is over between us and them. And you know what these guys said yesterday?
Backtracked.
They backtracked completely. They went the entire 180 and said, uh, yeah, there's no trade here. Move on. Like, I don't understand what the media is trying to do with us.
It's something that's is so tiring. I mean, again, this not me saying that AJ is never going to get traded. I want to make this very clear to Jello and to TK who are looking at us sideways right now. Let me make myself very clear. AJ Brown, maybe in 2027, is going to end up getting traded after the season is over. I do 100% believe that is a possibility. This offseason specifically, I saw a report from Bleacher Report that said that the Bills could potentially get AJ Brown for a second round pick and Keon fucking Coleman. And you're trying to convince me that that would be enough to get AJ Brown when you talk about someone like Howie Roseman as our general manager. Howie is literally farting on the phone and never picking up if the Buffalo Bills ever call again. Have y'all lost your motherfucking minds talking about this football team like this? Let's remember who runs this team. Let's remember who makes the trades for the Philadelphia Eagles. And if Howie Roseman has come out and said, man, I really don't think that AJ or I really don't think we're going to trade AJ and that he's a vital part of our offense. If the new offense coordinator, Sean Mannion, has come in and he's shown off the playbook to Howie and to Nick into the offense to start guys like Jalen Hurts and Saquon and AJ and say that AJ Brown is going to be a vital part of his play calling. What are we doing? What are we doing? Seriously, what more are we doing? I don't get it. I really don't. Good, why you go?
Um, let's not totally act like Howie has never made a mistake in his life. Like that, like we yes, that is a terrible trade for sure. I'm not even going to joke and act like that's a realistic trade. But Bleacher Report, are we really talking about Bleacher Report right now? Their trades always slip. Have you ever seen a realistic Bleacher Report trade ever? But let's not forget that y'all did give up a third round pick for a Jahan Dotson, who turned out to be a what now?
John has been terrible. He has not been terrible. He was the third option.
Yeah, a third round pick is worth that.
Yeah, I mean, shit, why not?
Let's be serious. Come on now, let's be real, bro.
Well, we had two third round picks because we got the higher pick of the Jets.
Yeah,
We kept that pick and we traded like the last pick of the third round. Like,
and what did has Washington used that third round pick yet?
no, I think they traded away that pick for.
Yeah.
I think they traded that pick for one of those linebackers they drafted, but then I think they traded that linebacker too. I forgot the guy's name, and they became even older defensively. So Washington didn't use that pick well either. So it didn't
Fair.
matter at the end.
What happens to the pick is not my concern. The trade in the moment is the biggest thing. And let's not act like the. Are we going to sit there and act like a player is going to flat out say he wants to be traded ever when he's on a team
Le'Veon has said it.
in.
Le'Veon has said it's shit. Micah pretty much implied it's CD has pretty
Yeah.
much applied. You of
Yeah.
all people should know how this works.
That was after all of the dang drama that was going on and not being paid.
And the
This is a
only
body.
drama that
This
you
is a
see in
chemistry
Philadelphia
issue.
right now,
This
Jello,
is not what.
the only drama you see in Philadelphia right now ain't even coming from the actual team. It's coming from people that want to destroy this team from the
Okay.
inside out.
So we're gonna act like there's no body language, no type of chemistry issues between Jalen Hurts and AJ
It could
Brown, which
be.
is supposed to be the most
It was a very
important.
frustrating season. I'm not denying that. I'm not hiding that. It was a very frustrating season for a lot of these guys, especially for AJ Brown. It's very clear that someone like Kevin Patullo was not a good play caller.
Blame the
As a result,
OC.
uh,
Blame the OC.
have you seen? I'll tell
Okay.
you this. I'll tell you this right now. So we remember when AJ went on Jakey Rondo's stream and he talked about what was me, while Kevin Patullo was the OC for this football team, right? When
Mhm.
Kevin Patullo got fired, have you seen AJ Brown speak out in any sort of way or say anything that implies that he wants to be traded from the Eagles? Go ahead. If you could bring up an example of it, I'll show up right now.
Have you ever seen an example
No, no,
of
no, no, no,
AJ Brown?
no, no, no,
No,
no.
no.
You
Let
asked
me
my
ask you a question.
question first.
Well, okay,
Go ahead.
no, I
Ask my
haven't.
question.
No, I haven't. You're right.
Exactly.
Show me anything where AJ Brown talked about Kevin Patullo was the problem with the offense. Show me that.
There have been multiple instances of Kevin Patullo or of AJ Brown looking at either Kevin Patullo and to an extension Nick Sirianni the wrong way because of the play
Haven't I
calling
seen that
that a
about
number
Jalen
of those
Hurts too?
guys.
Haven't I seen him look at Jalen Hurts the wrong way too?
Yeah, and again,
So
that's
what is
frustration.
your point?
That's frustration from a football player. That's just the type of football play. It happens when you want to win.
You
AJ
just
Brown
made my
wants to win.
point. You just absolutely made my point.
There have been multiple instances of AJ and Jalen Hurts being upset with each other, and that's
Okay,
because
okay.
they are both winners. They both want to win at the end of the day. Grown men, they get frustrated. That happens. I'm not denying that. Why I am saying to you though is that both of them have a bond outside of football. I mean, for goodness sake, Jalen is AJ's son's godfather. So I highly doubt that they would ever mess up that friendship, that relationship for someone that ain't even on the team anymore.
Nothing that it does not have to ruin the friendship or relationship
I mean,
as men.
it very much plays a
But if
factor.
there
Let's
is a
not act like it
chemistry issue
does.
on the football field, especially between a wide receiver and a quarterback, the wide receiver is frustrated, especially when it's mainly the quarterback's problem. But I'm
I
not going to
mean,
dive deep
if
into
you
that because
saw
then
the
that'll be
last
a
game of
whole
the
different
season,
issue.
if
That
you
will be a
saw the
whole
last
different
game of the
issue.
season for the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, I don't know. That didn't look like a QB problem to me. All right. You can even look at a game like the Chargers and say, yeah, that was a QB problem. He threw 5 picks. No shit. Game against the 49ers in the wild card game where AJ had multiple opportunities to catch football and he didn't. He ain't gonna come out outright and say, boy, I really fucked up. I dropped all those footballs. That's all me.
Why
He ain't gonna
not?
say
Why
that.
wouldn't he come out and say that? Isn't that what a responsible football player does? I've seen multiple football players
He
do it.
went outright come out and say that. All right.
Why not?
Especially when dealing with the play calling that we
Wait a
have.
whole minute. Wait, so you're telling me that AJ Brown won't outright come out and say and take responsibility for a bad game, but he will outright come out and say that he wants to
you're
be out
using
of
this as an
Philadelphia?
opportunity to push the stereotype that AJ hates
You
Jalen
just said
Hurts.
it yourself. He's not
That but
gonna outright
however, you're
say
using
that he
this.
lost you on the football game, but you are telling me that he will outright come out and say that he wants to get traded from a team that he's under contract
He
with.
wouldn't outright come out and
That's what you
say
just said.
it. What I've been saying is that he would until AJ Brown outright comes out and say, I want to be traded from the Philadelphia Eagles, which he has not said, then Howie ain't gonna do nothing. That's what I've been saying. As far as him coming out right and saying that, man, I dropped a lot of key throws in that wild card game. Yeah, sure. Should he have said something? Yeah. I would have liked if he had said something. But your implication that he hates Jalen Hurts as a result of that. No, he doesn't hate Jalen Hurts. All right. If anything, he hated Kevin Patullo, who is gone. He is gone. That's
And
my
you
I'm
should
trying to
see.
implication.
figure out.
You want to know
I'm trying to
something,
figure
Joe?
out how that
Joe, you
correlates.
didn't see
You know
the
what,
pod.
TK, go ahead.
No, let
But
Gianni speak. Let Gianni speak for a second.
did you guys not see the Bleacher Report show he did with Micah Parsons? And he said that he talked to Sean about the new offense and everything. He basically said that it was like refreshing to talk about that. That he loved like the new system that's coming in. to Philly. He basically said that to Micah Parsons out there, really. And people
Outright.
were like twisting the words and stuff like that the next day. But he said that he loved the new offense that is going to be because it's kind of West Coast, the style of offense we're going into. So AJ kind of likes that type of offense,
But
like the
AJ hates
system.
Philadelphia. AJ hates Jalen Hurts. AJ hates the city of
He
Philadelphia.
he he just said that it was like refreshing, to see that a new offense because I don't know if he had a problem with the way the system was because the one of the things I'm not sure if you saw this, Darius Slay's podcast, Darius Slay and AJ are close. And one of the things AJ said to Darius, I'm not sure if you saw this, PC. He's saying AJ told basically Darius that he hated the way that the offense was run, that all the receivers get to run different type of routes and he only gets to run one or two routes the same. So there was like chemistry issue between the coaches and him that frustrated him a lot. That's what Darius Slade went in the podcast and said that AJ told him. I'm not sure if that's true, but it looked like it was a coaching and player issue
And I'll say this:
all the season.
I'll take Darius Slay's word at this point over someone like LaShawn McCoy. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say about that. All right. Wha- All I'm saying, brother, there's so much that goes into what AJ actually wants, and I think a lot of people think they know what AJ wants, and yet they don't know what he actually wants. It's a lot of bullshit being spewed. TK, go ahead. That's how I feel about it. Hmm?
Man, man. All right, so here's the issue, bro. AJ Brown has been a Eagle, what, 4 years now? 4 or 5 years? He's had a new offensive coordinator each year. So let's just put that out there. Last season was not a good season. The year before, we had this dude on the sidelines reading books, bro. Do y'all remember that? The whole
Well, he missed
AJ.
5 games in 2024 and still got
That's fair.
1,000
That's fair. That's fair.
yards.
I'm not questioning his production at all. The
Yeah.
production is there, bro.
We're talking about reading
Um,
books. Yeah, you know what? Okay. Go ahead.
but
Go ahead.
here's the issue, bro. None of y'all answered the second part of the question, and I feel like the Eagles fans didn't answer it for a reason, which was should AJ Brown want to be an Eagle? Did he want to be an Eagle?
Should
At
he?
least this season,
Let,
he
let me
will.
let me ask
No,
let
I
me
just
ask this question for you, TK. Should AJ Brown want to be a Philadelphia Eagle? Well, the Philadelphia Eagles have made the playoffs each of the last 5 seasons that Jalen Hurts has been the starter. The Eagles have made the Super Bowl out of 2 of the last 3 seasons and have won one. Eagles constantly make great draft picks, have a consistent coaching staff that's when it doesn't have incompetent coordinators, usually get other opportunities at head coach that you want to bring up a different OC every single year that Jalen Hurts been a starter. Yeah, those guys grow up to become head coaches somewhere else. So does AJ or should AJ want to be a Philadelphia Eagle? Yes. Who wouldn't?
so yes. So all right. Great points. Very good points. About Super Bowl 2 out of the last 3 years, yada yada yada. But again, for whatever reason, PC, you can't sit here and get mad at me and Jello and the media when AJ Brown, the way he answers, he talks to the media sometimes, the subliminal messages that he posts on social media. Like, let's not act like we're not getting this from the source or these rumors or whatever it is. These crazy stories and rumors that start up. It's about 85% of it is because of AJ Brown. Should he want to be an Eagle? I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know how to answer that question. I think that if he were to go to a team like the New England Patriots, he definitely wouldn't be as upset because he'd be getting the football thrown at him a lot more than he is in Philadelphia. I think we can all agree to that. Um, we can't act like AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts like relationship hasn't changed over the past couple of years, bro. it was a very strong relationship when AJ Brown first got there the first couple of years, but and it's just for whatever reason, whether it's because AJ Brown is not happy with the way Jalen Hurts is playing, or Jalen Hurts is not happy with the way AJ Brown is playing, that relationship has changed. Um, I will say, PC Gianni, I do agree that I don't think AJ Brown will get traded this offseason because it will the dead cap hit would be like 40 million or 45 million or something like
Yeah,
that for you
something like
guys.
that.
Yeah,
45 to
so
me.
realistically, you guys wouldn't be able to move him until next season, which I think he will be moved as well. Um, but like I said, bro, we just can't like PC was so mad and stuck on the media, bro. Like I said, bro, we can't sit here and act like I said, between the subliminal messages that AJ Brown puts out there, the way he talks to the media sometimes, the way he answers some of these questions, bro. That's where everyone gets these type of stories from. Like you said, I do agree that he has not directly come out and said that he wants to be traded in an era in the league where now we're seeing a lot of players straight up going to the owners and saying, I would like to be traded. Tyreek Hill just did it. Uh, just to throw out a big name out there, Tyreek Hill was the most recent one to do it. He asked for a trade or to be released, and he got released. Um, so like I said, I do think this is the last year we're going to see AJ Brown in Philadelphia. He will definitely be somewhere else next year. The team that would make the most sense for AJ Brown to go, in my opinion, will probably be the New England Patriots because AJ Brown is a elite top five wide receiver who just wants the football thrown his way. And I don't think he really cares about winning Super Bowls because now that he has a Super Bowl, I don't think that's something that really concerns him. I think he's trying to push he's trying to get into the Hall of Fame, and I think we'd all agree that with that. So, I think a team like the New England Patriots, where he'd immediately step in and be the number one wide receiver and actually get the football thrown his way a shit ton. I think that'll be a situation that it would be a win-win for both sides. But like Gianni said, like PC said, he's not getting traded this year. It will cost him way too much money. Howard Roseman, is not an idiot. He's not gonna put the Eagles in a hole like that to where they're just dead cap $45 million. So that's just not going to happen. But I do think AJ Brown does get traded next year. There's definitely going to be a lot of teams calling. What is AJ Brown, 26, 27?
He's
28.
28. He's gonna be
28. So he'll
29.
be 29 next year. So yeah.
Oh no, he's gonna be 29. I think
He is
this
He's gonna be
month.
quite
29
literally
before the
pushing
season
Okay,
starts.
so he'll be 30 by the time he gets traded next year, which I think he'll still have some elite years left. There'll definitely be a lot of teams calling. I don't think you're going to get a first round pick for him at the age of 30. If you guys were to get a first round pick, it would be right now to trade him. But like I said, I just think the dead cap hit is the only reason why AJ Brown really won't get traded this season. I think because there would definitely have been teams out there that would have gave you guys a first round pick this year. So yeah,
TK, I want to bring up the media because the media too likes to flip flop on players, and they like to point fingers at players and make the players look like the bad guy. And sometimes we fall into that trap and we blame the players and stuff like that. I think that's what the media too is doing with AJ. And you know who I blame for this? I don't blame AJ for this. You know who deserves the most blame from all this is the Philadelphia media because they're the biggest losers, honestly, right now. Because the way they talk about our players and the way they, flip flop and then they shit on our players is really disrespectful, honestly. And they're the problem too. That leads to other media members saying, "Oh, what's going on over there? They're talking about this player this way." And then you see, the flip flop. Maybe that player is not happy in Philadelphia, or this player is not producing the way he's supposed to, play and everything. So I think it's the Philadelphia media that's the biggest problem here.
I
When
can
I look at the whole picture,
I can go on a whole tangent about Philadelphia media. There was one instance in particular. You want to know why Deshaun Jackson ended up getting cut and released by the Eagles all those years back? It's because Elliot Shore Parks, a member of the Philadelphia media, said that he was a part of a gang affiliation. He was affiliated with this sort of gang out in California. Again, proven to be untrue. And to this day, Elliot Shore Parks has not apologized to Deshaun Jackson for that result. It's little things like that has been going on for years in Philadelphia. And it's the reason I get so infuriated talking about it because these are all avoidable things. I mean, again, it's a whole tangent that I won't dive into. But for AJ Brown to want to be a Philadelphia Eagle, I don't think there's a doubt in my mind that AJ wants to be in Philadelphia. He wants to win in Philadelphia. Even if he goes to a team like New England because he has such a great bond with Mike Vrabel, cool, great. The biggest thing that y'all keep kind of ignoring in this situation as well, did we not just see the schedule put up one of the worst playoff runs of all time? I mean, you really want to go from Jalen Hurts, a proven winner, to someone like Drake May, who had, what was it, 55 passing yards before that blizzard in the AFC Championship game?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on.
I mean,
I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. But let's not act like Drake
He
May
did
is
play
not
the two top defenses in the National Football
like,
League
come on
too.
now, bro.
there
And
was,
this was the
okay,
number two.
55. Okay, but again, y'all keep trying to tap dance
This was
around
the
it.
second place MVP candidate. Come
Y'all
on,
keep trying to
bro.
tap dance around it. 55 passing yards in the AFC Championship game.
I say
Before he
something
went.
about New England. New England, to me, I don't really feel so confident saying AJ is going to go
Did
to New
we not
England
forget
because
that in the beginning of the season, Jalen Hurts was barely cracking 100 yards passing for the first
Yeah,
5 games, if I'm not mistaken?
the difference is that he was winning,
Wh-
that we were
How
winning
are we comparing
as a
the two?
result.
When one was in a snow game and the second was against the best defense in the NFL,
And
and
also
where he barely
when the
had to
game when
even
the game was
pass
on the
that game
line, when the game
because
was on the line, he has proven time and time again that Jalen Hurts can be that guy to get you the win. I mean, he did it. He did it in that game
eh,
that you're referring
yeah.
to against the Chiefs earlier in the season. He did it in the Super Bowl when y'all said, "Okay, let's load the box and get rid of Saquon instantly and have Jalen Hurts throw the ball." Well, prove them wrong. So, and when the Seahawks did that pretty much same exact formula, and they told Drake May, "Okay, ball's in your hands, get it done." What did he do, brother? He threw a chicken Caesar salad right down the middle, and that was the end of the game. So again, there are levels to this, bro. There's
I,
levels to it.
I'll say this
So
about AJ to New
first of
England.
all, wait, Gianni. First of all, balls in your hands with no pause is just absolutely absurd. But go ahead.
I think AJ. I think AJ, if he gets traded, I think it will have to be. I think it's gonna probably be Buffalo at the end of the day, honestly, because I just don't get the vibe of New England.
Gianni, I
I
can
know,
see the Ravens too. Ravens love 30-year-old wide receivers that are about to be right out of their prime. That's why I can't see them getting Pickens at all. I just don't see George. But AJ Brown to the Ravens, I could definitely see that happening, brother.
You
but
know what
but
would be
this is
funny?
my
You
thing
know what
with
would be
New
kind of
England.
funny?
My thing with New England, I don't think New England is ever gonna reach this type of level that they had this past season because I feel like I understand how great Dre May was this season, but I don't know. I have a weird feeling about them that they're not gonna get back to the Super Bowl anytime soon. Like it's gonna take a long while for them to get. That's why I feel like if AJ leaves us, I think it's gonna be for maybe like you said, Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City. It will be somebody in the top of the AFC, honestly, at this point. Because if he goes to New England, it is really a 50-50. You're gonna get your yards and everything, but when the winning doesn't happen, the media can turn against like AJ like crazy because look at what's going on right now. How the media is
We're
treating
talking
to
about a team
AJ.
that just made the Super Bowl. Why would the winning not even happen? Like why are we just disrespecting these people? Like Mike Vrabel has not done this before
But
with no quarterback and a running back carrying the offense and had a top tier defense like what he had this year with Robert Spillane and
It's
like they're not
that's
big
the
names,
thing,
but they're getting the
Kello.
job
That's
done.
that's the issue. You can bring up Mike Vrabel's success with that. Has that been a winning formula that has gotten a team a Super Bowl?
Did he not just get to the Super Bowl?
Did he win the Super Bowl?
Okay, that's cool. That's cool and all, but are we saying that AJ Brown can't bring them
What's
over
the
the top?
point of making it if you can't even win it with that formula? What's the point?
Because one team he had the Titans that can't win like that. This team is a very young team, and there's still development
The
there.
Titans were a young team and got to the AFC Championship game against Kansas City. We can't forget about that. And then after
Exactly.
that, they still had the same core and everything. They added here and
No, they
there on
did
both
not.
sides of the ball, and then they slowly, fell apart. Like,
They did not have the same. Not long after, because the year after Derrick Henry left.
no, I'm talking about those first couple years. Those first, they got to the AFC Championship game. This was for 4 years. I think they got to championship game. They were one and done, and missed the playoffs. And I think they traded AJ, and they still had Derek, I think, for 2 more years. So they actually like were upcoming, and then they fell apart. Basically, I could see that happening in New England. Like New England, I know that with Tennessee he didn't get to the Super Bowl, but he was like close. They're up, I think, double digits in Kansas City in the championship game. They're right there getting to the Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill, honestly. And the thing is, I just don't know. I think they're still going to be a good team for a couple years, New England, but I don't think they're going to reach that level again. Honestly, to like, I know the
That could be
AC.
their peak.
Yeah, that could be because I still think Kansas City, as bad as Mahomes' injury and that roster can be, I think they're going to find a way to fix it in some ways. You got Baltimore with Lamar. You got Buffalo with Josh. Maybe they improve that offense for Josh and everything. They get like a receiver at least, for this coming season. So the AFC, I feel like is weak, the AFC, but at some point you gotta look at what they have. You gotta go through Lamar. You didn't have to go through all these quarterbacks this past playoffs, honestly. Who they went in the first round? Justin Herbert, who was banged up. They went up against CJ Stroud. That was one of the worst playoff games ever. I think you guys can agree with that. That was just plain out awful. Then they played Jarrett Stidham. Like next season, if they play Lamar in the first round, there's no guarantee they're gonna get past the first round like how they were this season. That's why it's all about taking advantage when the opportunity is there because you never know when you have that opportunity again.
And New England didn't. You can have him in 2027, not this year. And shit, he may
And
not even want to be there in 2027. Who knows?
PC, and you want to know something crazy about our cap situation? We have to pay, some of our young guys, right? Their extensions and everything. But you know how Howie pulls the cap, toward the end of their contract and everything like that. If Howie continues that and trade AJ next offseason, you want to know what's going to be our cap situation in 2027 and 2028? We're going to have 120 million in cap each of those 2 years.
And
That's insane to me.
and
We're,
and and people don't want to see that. Then they're gonna say no. Then the next statement out their mouth is gonna be double magic from Howie. I mean,
TK is going to want Howie arrested,
yep,
honestly. When
yep.
when 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 he sees those 120 million in cap space, I wonder what we do. We probably get another receiver. We probably invest, in the offensive line with some players probably retiring and everything like that. Like, who knows? The sky is the limit there. We're gonna have that cap situation in good in a good spot, honestly.
Yep. Um, but hey, crazier things have happened, bro. Crazier things have truly happened. But it's all good. It's all good. All right, it's all good. We'll have to see how this all pans out, and maybe I'll come back on this podcast and I'll be by my words. Who knows? What I do know is that we're at the end of episode 256. Let's wrap this thing up. Um, well, I appreciate thank everybody coming out this week. For all your listeners, episode 257 comes next week. If you've been following us on YouTube, you also know that we've been dropping the podcast episodes in their entirety. So if you do miss the episode this week or last week, you can go and check it out because they are posted in their entirety on our YouTube channel. Call up one, check up on them, tell them that you love them, stay hydrated, and unfortunately for people that aren't disabled or have a felony or maybe transitioning, um, you know, be prepared to get drafted to World War III, buddy. You gotta love this government. You truly do. I have no words, no real words anyway, to describe just the direction we're going as a country. I feel like I've said enough. I'm tired. I'm sure everybody on this call is tired. I'm sure there are millions of Americans that are tired, and I'm tired of talking about. I'm tired of constantly coming on here and trying to promote the same thing for them to do the exact opposite. We can only hope that the situation just gets better at this point. Who knows? Who knows? Like I said, episode 257 next week. My name is Philly Cameron, joined by Gianni, TK, and Jello this week. Thank you for listening to the We Eat Sports Podcast. We'll see y'all. Good night.